The problem is not getting better. Stimulus money at work. Welcome to my mess. So today started off pretty well. I passed through one city and I made 2 stops. They were unrelated to houses or anything I'm doing. 2 meetings with 2 people, and they went pretty well. Hit some traffic, so that slowed me down a little bit, but I was able to coordinate. These were 2 unrelated people, and I met with them, and I think the meetings went pretty well. But that put me about an hour and 15 minutes away from my work for the day. And worse off, it was like 95 degrees. I drive with no air conditioning. I have no air conditioning in the house, so it's fine. I gotta save money. So, but my truck has no air conditioning. So that put me in the afternoon hours. Maybe I arrived around 2:30, more or less. And being that it was really, really hot, I chose to just cut some grass. And I had someone that would help me cut grass a little bit. So we cut grass, and I did a few other things. And now it's almost 10 o'clock at night. By the way, I don't have phone service where I work. So I have to go and find a little spot where I can send out texts. And I was texting to back home because there was an air conditioning problem, and we're trying to work through that. So again, I've found myself sitting and not working, but trying to get that air conditioning fixed by text. So that put me in you're looking at the area that we use for shop space. And I was working on the ceiling. That's what you see laying there. New piece of scaffolding that I brought, and this is just some mess that I was using. But what I did is this space has old wires in it, and what I mean by old is someone else put them in, and here's one of them, and it was just loose. It was a single gang box. I put the box away now. I put this double in, and this is not the way you do it. In fact, it's funny, look at all these wires. But turns out this is just a number 14 gauge, so really that's all it can do is lights. I currently have a little battery charger working on it, and I've had compressors and battery chargers over the last year on there, not really paying attention. But I didn't want to sink in the wall, because really what I need in this area, there's a lift for mowers. I need at least some number 12 wire run here and more receptacles. So that's just going to be a light circuit. So here's what I normally do. I would cut in the wall, make it look really nice. Here's the corner. I'd add another wire. I'd run it over there. And, oh, you can't see, hold on. I'd run it over there into that room and put in another light. And next thing you know, hours and hours would pass. And that's right now not going to make any money, and unfortunately the money's needed to keep the ball rolling. So I did this. It pained me to do this, but I did a complete shortcut. But this does help me because I only had one receptacle before, or not even a double. You're not supposed to do that, but I just had a single. So I was constantly plugging in one thing, unplugging at something else. I'd put in a junction, but this is better. So when I leave here, I turn the breakers off, so there's no power to that when it's not unattended. And then what you really shouldn't do, I thought long and hard, but I went ahead and did this. Goes up to here, comes back, and boom. Yep, I found this somewhere. I didn't want to use it because I just think this is a bad idea. It's not what people expect, but I guess it's the same as an extension cord, and I've used these as extension cords, but this is hardwired right now. So I don't know. It doesn't seem like a good idea, but I constantly need an extension cord here. So I'll run a cord out to, let's see if the light will show you. The truck will park there, and I'll have mowers that need air pretty frequently. So I'll roll an air compressor out here. So you're thinking this is pretty boring. Yeah, it is. But I wouldn't be worried about it being boring. You know what I'd be worried about? Well, I like making these videos. A lot of fun. I'm getting a little better at editing, and I'm not saying I'm producing a better product. I'm just doing what I'm doing faster. And that's a fun thing. The thing is I'm talking to the videos and I know no one's watching them. So technically, I'm talking to myself. So isn't that like the first sign of like bad things coming down the road? But anyway, let's get back to this lawn tractor. So I've got a problem down here where I had a grass cutter for the last few years. And the last few years he's been doing a job that he just looks like he's outgrown it and doesn't like it or something. Really, the grass needs to look good. It's an easy thing to do, and I want the town to be happy. So this mower was sitting at a house, and one of the tenants, it's very rare, but I like this guy. I allowed this tenant to cut his own grass. And one day he said, in broken English, that the mower didn't work. And I said, well, what's wrong with it? And he said, it doesn't work. Well, that didn't help me. I couldn't prepare for it. So this mower has been sitting at least a year. And of course I use other mowers. But today I decided, I got here late, not sure what I can do. Let's work on this mower. Let's kind of work on the building. So I'm kind of showing you a pulley, which is right here. So the upper one, I believe, drives the transmission. That's where that belt is. And this lower one, yes, drives the deck. That should turn, by the way. It's not turning. Now here's the interesting thing. That's supposed to be hooked to that. So apparently the bolt backed out and off it came. I don't know if you can see. Can you see right there? That's the shaft of the mower. So there's a key missing, and that would slide in, and then there is a bolt that goes up there. So that'll be an easy repair. This mower, as old as it is, ran so well, it was amazing. It would idle nicely, and it was just great. Now I know I have that bolt and that keyway back home. Do I have it here? I don't know. But there's another mower here, and I, to tell you the truth, have forgotten. No, not this one. This one. I've forgotten what's wrong with this. This one was being used by that guy that was cutting the grass, and he just didn't want to use it. He wanted to use those slow riding mowers, and I got him one. But I don't recall what's wrong with this one, so I will take a look at that. Right now it's getting to be about, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night, so it's pretty early. I'm probably bound to be up till about 12, but I'm trying to sleep more. They talk about sleep nowadays as being very, very important. Didn't used to be. Years ago, there was a guy that said he never slept. But that's okay. They used to say eggs were bad, and I think now they say eggs are good. It's the wrong, it's just some of the eggs. All right, so that's a tour of the sloppiness. You know, tomorrow I might be able to show you some of this cleaned up. But this is a room that's going to get a whole new, not only ceiling, but roof. So everything here is this is stuff that used to sit outside, except for that group of bottles and cans and a little bit of parts that we just passed. Alright, I think the next thing I'll be showing you is some sort of progress. But this trip, I always say never give up on a bad day. I got here kind of late. I did a little bit. It's important to just think of plan B and keep going. So I'm going to work on this space a little bit, make it easier to find things and keep things organized. Okay, I'll think of something interesting. Well, that's a false promise. I'll think of something else and bring you back and show that to you. Well, so much for going to sleep early. This is a bad configuration. My charger that's on this cart, along with the compressor and a grinder, comes out of the tool room and then plugs in here, but it blocks my access to whatever I'm working on. And then take a look at this. This comes off the carburetor. It's not supposed to look like that, but we do have a lot of light. It is about, I don't know, it's not 1 o'clock yet, but as wide awake as I am, I'm sure it'll be closer to 2 o'clock before I go to sleep. But the weather is just so nice outside. Gotta work when it feels good. We had like a 95-degree day, so being out in the sun is not that much. I can't tell if you could see what I was doing, but the crankshaft coming out of the engine, let's zoom in, it was covered with rust. So as the engine was running, I held a, what's it called? A sanding sponge up to it. And basically it was a high-speed lathe. So the surface rust is off that shaft. I still would have to, sorry about the wiggle, still would have to clean out this pulley a little bit in there. But that should be easy enough. Oh look! There's the key. See it? Even out of focus you can see it. That's good. Unless it's damaged, it probably is damaged. I'll test it in a second. But that's good. If nothing else I can match it up with a new one. But that means I just need the bolt. And believe it or not, in my collection here, it's quite the collection. I have this, and I believe that threads in there, or I know it threads in there. Whether it's the right size or not, I don't know. We might be fixed. I wonder why the camera doesn't focus quickly. You know what? The fact that a camera can focus on its own, take your time, camera. I'm impressed. Alright, so this mower is going to be put back into service soon. It runs really, really, really well. It always did. And I don't know whether it got a tune-up once upon a time, or you saw how dirty it was inside. I cleaned it with like just by hand and not like in a dipping or parts washer or anything like that. I did take a piece of telephone wire. Let me hold that on some background that you could see. Okay, so that's telephone wire cable. And then I took one and stripped it off. It's a red mower, so you got to use the red wire. You use the yellow on yellow mowers, the green on green, and black. Actually, you can use the black on most any mower. That's kind of a universal wire there. Anyway, that's what cleaned the jet in the carburetor. And then the bowl, I scratched and scraped that out. And I did check whether the float was clogged up or not. And as you heard, it is not. Or I should say the needle and seat. So I need that, what's it called, a Woodruff key? Nah, it's some sort of key. I need that. Scratch up that pulley a little bit and a bolt, and we'll get back together. And this will be running, try to cut grass with it tomorrow. Okay, might be time to go to sleep. Good night.